Welcome back to building a house in Minecraft every day for 30 days. Today we're on day 27, and this is another medieval type build. It's not completely medieval, at least to me. It has medieval elements to it and different types of elements, but I definitely wanted to get back into practicing medieval for the Surpass Limits world. If you don't know the Surpass Limits world, I have a playlist for it. Go check it out right here. I'll have a card annotation. And if you haven't seen the last video where I did a Latin American type build, go check that out. Alright, so back to the build. We are doing the frame right now and the main outline, and then we're adding in some stone brick for the walls here. And this is just like the bottom part, the foundation of this house. And then this house has arches in it. And I'll show you in the reference where I got the idea for these actual arches. And then this side piece has like arches kind of like where maybe a market might be or something like this. And then this will be probably where the shop owner or maybe a person living there might live. Who knows? You can think of the story for this one. I'll let you guys think of the story, but that's what I'm thinking. It might be a shop and maybe a market there because it is a pretty open area. So now I'm working on windows, trying to add some little details and adding in details that do work. You'll notice that this build has a lot of orange and dark elements to it. So it's definitely heavy on orange and dark grays, light and dark grays as the color palette for this build. So I use a combination of acacia and copper to work on doing that color palette. And right now I'm just trying to have that symmetry because again, I really do like symmetry, and I felt like this didn't have there wasn't enough symmetry here, so I added a trash can in the back. So I was really heavy into that market idea of like, oh, maybe people are throwing away their trash from food they bought in the medieval times. I don't know exactly how they would do a trash, or how I was going to make a trash, so this is my design of a little trash can where you could it's actually functional because it's lava. And then this is the top part where we're building the second part of the foundation, the top part of this build, where gives it some more details. And we're using the mushroom stems for walls. I love the texture on mushroom stems. It really is a nice texture with white, but it's not like all white like quartz. It's not just flat. It has that little bit of texture, which looks really good, especially on like medieval type builds. And then I'm going around and doing more of outlines for the walls to get some more pillars in there. And then this is where I'm actually adding in more of that orange, those orange highlights in there with the dark elements, and using orange. I really wanted to practice working on those stairs alternating to make these shapes that you often see in these medieval Tudor houses, and they're common in those style of houses, and I'm definitely going to be making a lot of those type of style of houses in my medieval the start of the Surpass Limits world, because the start of it is a medieval theme, and then eventually we'll get into fantasy and some other themes, but we're definitely starting out with medieval. So I'm practicing that in this series, and I honestly don't like how the walls came out. The designs I did are a little silly, and I think I could have came up with a better design in hindsight. But hindsight's 2020, as they say. So maybe in the future I'll come up with a different design, or I'll just, you know, I'll think on it more. Not necessarily for this build, but just easily I could redo this build. And yeah, right now I'm working on the walls, adding in those oranges, and each one of these references, because it's multiple houses in this reference, they had these slats, that the orange slats that actually were part of the roof, holding up the roof, and the support beams that are underneath the roof. So these are like those like support beams, and the little not strats, but little, I don't know, pieces, just like pieces at holding on to them. And yeah, now we're working on more of the windows, messing around with copper, and then actually I do change out those stairs eventually to copper instead of acacia. I don't know if that was a good move or not, but I do later on do change it. Again, this series is a bunch of just experimentation and seeing what I can build and make. And this is where I'm trying to do a design like I did on that right side that looks good, and I couldn't really figure out a design that worked. So this is what I did using slabs, as you can see, and then alternated the same design onto the left. And I don't think it looks bad, but it doesn't look great on the design I did. I tried using sandstone, orange sandstone, and that didn't look too bad. But then I added copper, and honestly, again, hindsight, this looks pretty bad with the copper. I think I should have stayed with the orange sandstone, looking back on it, and then kept the windows as acacia. But this is what I did. This is what I liked at the time. So, and I'm not going to lie and say like, oh yeah, this is what I did, and obviously I don't have a recording of it either. So that's what I did, and hopefully it's not too bad to you guys, but I think that's what I would have changed with it, would be the orange sandstone for those stairs, and would have done the windows all with the acacia trapdoors. And then I'm just messing with this roof, and this roof does usually have this top piece, but I said no, I'm gonna keep it the same as what it normally is, as in, you know, a normal Minecraft roof where it has that typical A style. And then I'm working on actually a chimney here, with different types of blocks, or I will use different types of block. I started out with just using tough bricks, but the tough bricks were just too much, so I definitely added in the tough blocks in general, and was messing around with different designs. And in the reference I'll show you a little bit where I was basing this off of. And then we're just going around looking at different angles of it, of the chimney, and I think it did come out not too bad. I wish it was moved over to the right just a tad bit, but it doesn't not work there. And overall, that's the most of the build. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, bye.